One of my favorite times to walk is really early in the morning, or you might call it late at night. I've been walking for, I don't know, half an hour, and I haven't seen anybody, or not even one single car. I'm here outside of a veterinarian's place. I asked one time if they eat their own patients here.
You walked into a vet and asked them if they ate the animals they treated? Okay. Tucker White says, "Oh, fuck you, Hannah, for making us watch this woman." I'm sorry. Verigated says, "What a creep. Only drug addicts and street sweepers are up at 3 a.m. Okay, maybe also bakers." I'll have you know sometimes I'm up till 3 a.m. with Baja. I'm none of those things.
And they said, no. I said, but do you go home and eat other vets' patients?
Oh, Tea with Goblins. Sorry, I missed your bits. Tea with Goblins says, "I wrote my PhD about monsters. The word monster comes from the Latin word meaning warning or omen. So broadly speaking, a monster is a creature or entity that is made significant by its otherness." Interesting. Okay.
And they said, what do you mean? I said, well, do you eat chickens, cows, pigs, lambs, turkeys? And they said, oh, yeah.
The funny thing is, I would imagine, I don't know this to be a fact, this is complete speculation on my part, it wouldn't surprise me if there was a higher instance of vegetarianism or veganism amongst veterinarians than there is amongst the general population, but she still feels the need to shit on vets, I guess, even though they're literally the people who keep your pets healthy. Tucker White says, "No, you're not. You like to torture us as much as we do to you." Probably true.
And I said, well, don't they teach you in vet school to do no harm? Like the oath that the doctors have to take?
Do vets also have to take the Hippocratic Oath? I genuinely don't know. Do vets take the... veterinarian's oath is an oath veterinarians take to use their skills and knowledge for the benefit of animal health, welfare, public health, and the advancement of medical knowledge. So, probably a little bit different, but basically the same idea. Interesting. Marcus Drake says, "I had a friend who left his job at a vet's because the crematorium reminded him of barbecue, and he wanted to enjoy barbecue at some point in his life again." Ew. Tucker White says, "I'm still the bits leader, bitches." Well, congrats.
Don't you learn that? And they said, well, not really. I said, well, think about it. All vets should be vegan. And they said, okay, you're making a good point.
That's more of a statement than a point.
At this restaurant here, it's like a little takeout place. It looks cute, right? Marmalade. You just get the feeling it's like, you know, a mom and pop place, and you're gonna get some good wholesome food there. And yeah, they have things like organic muffins, but not everything is vegan here.
Implying they do in fact have vegan options, which is a good thing.
So why is that?
Like, I just can't believe that the restaurant or bakery or whatever it was, sorry, I missed it, literally apparently has vegan options based on the fact that she said, well, they have non-vegan options, meaning they have vegan options too. They have options for her, and it's still not enough. It's not enough that they have vegan options for her and are accommodating to her and her dietary restrictions. Everyone has to follow, by force, her ethical guidelines. Otherwise, fuck 'em, I guess.
Why would they deliberately pay people to murder animals and then bring them? Wow. Well, it's getting to be morning now. The traffic is starting. I think it's 4:30 right now.
She's walking around at 4:30 in the morning? Why?
Why do you think that they would deliberately pay people to rape, confine, enslave, torture, kidnap, and murder animals just so they could end up on the menu here?
Because there is a demand for those products. Because people enjoy eating food that includes animal products, milk, eggs, butter, etc. They also enjoy eating animal protein often. Most people aren't vegetarian. If you don't like that, that's okay. It's completely okay to go out there and be a vegan activist and try and convince people that eating animals is wrong, or that eating animals is unhealthy or bad for the environment. All things that I think to one level or another are absolutely true. But doing this is not helping anyone. You're not convincing anyone of anything by being obnoxious and just being, like, obtuse like this. Because she's insane? Yeah.
I think it's because they don't know. Do they just not know what goes on? What about this restaurant here?
I kind of actually want to have a conversation with that vegan teacher. Like, invite her to come and talk to me on stream sometime. I don't think she would. I don't think I have a big enough following. I think she kind of clout chases, but...
They do have a vegan option of a burger, but then they don't have vegan mayo. So you end up getting this burger that's really dry, and it doesn't entice somebody, doesn't make somebody want to go back and get that.
Okay, then they either need better quality vegan meat substitute. Beyond Burgers are really good. And there are other condiments. Ketchup, mustard.
So why do all of these places not just automatically have only vegan mayo and only soy milk or oat milk? No.
Because customers like dairy milk. Because customers like dairy mayo. H. Baird says they don't have mayo because those damn millennials killed it. E-Tune says, ma'am, I just want to get my protein in deliciously in peace.
Animal milk. And I say that because that's what happens in the dairy industry.
Like, she has this top-down idea of veganism where she thinks she can somehow convince McDonald's and KFC and all these corporations and maybe even the government to, like, ban the sale of animal products instead of what you need to do for something like this, which is a bottom-up grassroots movement to convince people to use things other than animal products and consume things other than animal products. You can't enforce this from the top down. You need to change people's minds.
They murder baby boy cows because they'll never be able to give milk. Baby boy cows are just the same as all the dogs in the neighborhood. They want to live. They want to be with their moms. Is it because the people who work at these places, or who own these places, just don't know?
Vegan teacher, here's the disconnect. Other people don't look at animals the same way you do. If you want them to, that's perfectly fine. You need to convince them of that and explain to them and try and explain why you believe these animals are morally, ethically, psychologically on the same level as human beings and therefore deserve the same rights, or at least, you know, up to a level.
Here's the local grocery store. I try to shop locally as much as I can to promote these small businesses. But it's pretty hard because...
Like, imagine if I or any other sort of left-leaning streamer or YouTuber or whatever went to, like, a mall with my phone, and I was just filming in the mall, and I was like, look at this decadent shrine to the downfall of capitalism, and look at all these workers being exploited by their capitalist masters. Like, there might be some grain of truth to what I'm saying in the sense that capitalism is like, exploitative or something. But I'd look like the world's biggest dick doing it. I'd look like an asshole. I'd look like the biggest, like, self-obsessed, pretentious fucking idiot in the world. Like, this is not effective messaging. If you want to explain anything to anyone, whether it's the fact that you think that the current economic system is exploitative towards its workers, or if you want to convince people that eating meat is wrong, you need to be a normal fucking human and do it by talking to people. You can't just be like, look at the world, look at how evil everyone is and how great I am. Don't you want to be amazing like me? No one likes that. No one likes that. Daddy Sume says, you mean like Hassan? I don't watch Hassan, so I don't get that joke.
You know, we've asked them to carry these 2-liter containers of soy milk for us, and we committed that we would buy at least 3 a week. And they still haven't done it. They have, you know, the little ones that have sugar added. We just want the plain ones. They can't be bothered. So sometimes...
That's supply and demand.
Sometimes we end up shopping at other places just because it's easier.
Okay, then do that. Good.
It's interesting here, isn't it? Look at this. At some point in the middle of the night, they got a delivery of some bread. See?
Ooh, free bread. Any people who need food in the area she lives, apparently the supermarket just gets pallets of fresh baked bread delivered to them and they just leave it outside. If you need bread. Scone Corbell says, it's a crime that everyone doesn't cater to my every whim.
And it's just here. It's just out there. Anybody...
Canada's fucking wild. I can't imagine a single place in the United States where they would have something like that delivered and just set it outside. It'd be gone in 5 minutes. Someone's taking that shit. Whether they genuinely need the food or think to themselves, I could sell that to someone.
could steal it at any time. I've seen raccoons walk by, I've seen skunks, and I've seen rabbits, and I've seen squirrels on my walk. There's so much trust that goes into this, isn't there? Like, they just deliver it, and then they just trust that nobody's going to take it. And it's fascinating. We live in a really interesting world. Down there is another restaurant.
She doxed the free bread. She did.
We used to go there as a family before we became vegan. And I remember I used to get the soup that had the egg in it. I think it's called stracciatella. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. And I really thought it was delicious. But since I became vegan, I have not set one foot in there ever again. Just the thought that I contributed to so much suffering, well, it's hard to sleep.
It's almost like a movie set. It's like she's on the back lot of a movie studio or something. It's eerie to me. It's like, what do they call that? Liminal spaces or something? It's like uncanny that it's this like main street of this small Canadian town and there's just no one.
Knowing that I did that for so many years. And you're probably wondering, what's the big deal about eggs? Many of you are new here, or you've heard so many rumors about me and you're kind of curious. But the thing about the eggs is that the baby boy chicks are ground up at just 1 day old. They're put on this giant assembly line, and their sex is identified, and if they're males, they will just fall down into a pit with blades. They'll be sliced up and murdered.
Oh, a fun fact, I just saw an article about this, and it made me think of a vegan teacher. France just passed a law that I think by 2022 or 2023, I don't remember the specific year, all factory farms, or all farms, I guess, that do this sort of thing are no longer allowed to do that, so they have to either let the boy chicks live, or there's now technology that lets you sex the eggs while they're still eggs, basically. So, in France, in a couple years, it will no longer be legal to ground up newborn chicks, which is good.
Because they'll never be able to lay eggs, so they're considered to be useless in the industry. That's why I stopped eating eggs, and I stopped eating any chickens. And I stopped drinking milk because of what happens to the cows. The enslavement of the mothers, forced to give milk and be pregnant year after year as their babies are stolen from them. It seems like such a nice place, doesn't it? But I never come here anymore. I'm urging anyone who lives in this neighborhood to, as often as possible, ask for the vegan options. And that's basically always. You can always ask.
Flannel is bored with 100 bits, says, I'm a veterinary assistant and I have had to explain to multiple people that they cannot put their various pets on a vegan diet. It hurts my mental health every time. Yeah. What's your opinion on dogs on vegan diets? Obviously cats can't because they're obligate carnivores. Vegan teacher has put her dog on a vegan diet, and it has been on a vegan diet for quite a while. So, like, what's that all about? Daddy Sume says, vegan snakes when?
Just say, do you have a vegan burger here? Or, do you have vegan cheese for pizza?
Yeah, it's not, I agree. It's not a bad idea to ask for vegan options. A lot of people do meatless Mondays. I think, honestly, a more sustainable option for most people is probably just reducing your animal product intake. Less meat, replace with plant-based alternatives when you can. And, you know, soy milk, almond milk, whatever. Again, stuff like Meatless Mondays, but literally Vegan Teacher did a video on Meatless Mondays the other day, and she was like, Meatless Mondays is garbage, don't do Meatless Mondays. Because it's, you know, all or nothing with her. Very bad.
Do you have vegan meat to put on the pizza?
Flannel is bored replies, I mean, dogs technically can go on a vegan diet if it's done right, but I surely wouldn't ever recommend it. They're bound to be deficient in something at some point. Good to know.
And even if they're, you know for sure that there are no vegan options, ask anyway, because they might get some. Now this place here, is supposedly vegan. But isn't it fascinating that
Have a good night, Mix Gothy. Thanks for coming.
you would never know just by looking at the outside? It's almost like either they changed their mind or it's some sort of secret. Just says bar santé, like health bar. Another place that we used to go to all the time was an ice cream place. And when the kids were little, we would always get them ice cream. Everybody went to the same place. We would meet up with their friends. Everybody would go there after swim meets.
I don't know if she's anti-mask. I have no idea. Empty the Tank says, any reduction in harm is a good thing, even if it's something small. I agree.
Swim meets were every Wednesday, and yeah. That was my old life. And now, when I go there, even though they do have vegan options, because I asked for them several years ago, and they started to get vegan ice cream, it's still...
It makes me wonder what the closest Marcel and her have ever been. They both live in Canada. I don't think it's necessarily close. I know Canada is a big place, and I know Marcel is somewhere in Winnipeg. I don't know what province she lives in. I don't know if she mentioned it. But I wonder, throughout their entire lives, what is the closest Marcel has ever been to that vegan teacher? Have they ever accidentally been in the same store at the same time? Have they been in an airport at the same time and not known because they don't know each other exist? Daddy Sume says, like, seriously, there's this place in my area called Slice on Broadway. It's almost like it's ashamed to be a pizza place. They got scared when they were naming it. Flannel is bored with more bits as I feel like this street is empty because they hear her coming down the street and with her cell phone and they hide.
It's still difficult to go there and see all of the other ice cream and just people after people after people lined up to get this ice cream that is from stolen milk, that comes from kidnapping babies from their mothers. These little baby calves that are removed and put into sheds, plastic sheds, awaiting their death. It's so hard to believe that we live in this kind of society. And here's another pizza place. We used to go here too. Yeah. Used to sit there and eat pizza. But they don't have vegan cheese or vegan meat anymore.
So I guess any more implies they used to. So apparently not enough people wanted it in order to make it profitable for them to carry those items, so they dropped them. That's not the business's fault. The consumer apparently doesn't want that. At least not in enough numbers to make it worth their time.
What is your moral code? How much are you willing to suffer to do the right thing?
Not much. I'm a pretty big bitch. Sky Comet Fallen says, is getting ice cream right now. Lemon ginger special edition flavor. I love ice cream. Tube Man says, I think the real reason the street is empty is because Montreal has an 8 p.m. curfew. Wow. Okay, didn't know that.
Here too. Place after place of...
Oh, those ice cream, like... Is it ice cream or those shakes? Whatever they are on the left there, those actually look really good.
all kinds of things that come.
This looks like a charming little community to live in. Honestly. A main street with like some pizza restaurants, some ice cream places. Like, it's like a cute town to live in.
From the suffering of animals. If you know who Jordan B. Peterson is, he's...
Oh, no! Oh, wait, no. She's gonna shit on Jordan Peterson because he does the meat-only diet. Good. I thought she was gonna advocate for some Jordan Peterson shit for a second. Oh, can we get Jordan Peterson and that vegan teacher in a debate? I think I'd die if I got to see that.
He's a university professor in Toronto who said that the world just keeps improving all the time. Everybody around the world is getting richer and richer, and there's less poverty in general. But he always fails to talk about the animals. Always. Never thinks about them as sentient.
He's also just, like, full of shit and terrible and I don't want to call him a faux intellectual because he may be very, very good at psychology. I don't know. I haven't read Maps of Meaning, and I'm not qualified to discuss, you know, the topic of psychology anyway. He's a PhD. I'm sure he knows about his field very well. But when he ventures into politics and sociology, and he's real bad. He's real bad at those things. Flannel is bored says she's like one mental break away from becoming the vegan Jigsaw. She wants to know how much people are willing to suffer.
Beings. But animals are the same as humans.
Your sister has 2 masters in psychology. He's full of shit. It wouldn't surprise me. But again, I have no idea.
That they feel. They feel.
Tea with Goblin says, I'm a sociologist. As an academic and an author, he's full of shit.
Feel pain when they are touched. That's why they run away. If they are scared of you. Name the trait.
Speaking of Jordan B. Peterson, when's the next episode of the book? Jake and I are supposed to record Wednesday. I don't know if we're doing it that day, but hopefully soon. I know we got to get back on it. We fucked up this entire month. We put out, like, no content. It was terrible. So, we're trying to get back on. I'm sorry that those channels, the Hannah and Jake channel has been sparse of content. I really apologize for that.
That a human has, that an animal doesn't, that makes you think, I shouldn't kill and eat that human, but I should kill and eat that animal. Is it the amount of legs that they have?
It's probably the lack of sapience of the animals that I eat. Empty the Tank says, I've studied psych and I'm about a year off of getting my bachelor's of social work. It's no PhD, sure, but just to throw another hat in the ring, yeah, he's full of shit.
Is that it? The amount of hair?
I know he's into, like, the Jungian collective conscious shit, but...
Men out there.
Sorry, I'm not trying to make this about Jordan Peterson.
There are 2-legged animals, just like there are 2-legged people.
Yeah?
Is it intellect? Is that all? Does that mean that you would...
Wait, what's bipedal other than humans? I guess they're chimps, kind of, but they still kind of, you know, use their hands. Ostriches, emus, kangaroos, chickens, monkeys, birds. I'm so stupid. Why did I all of a sudden forget all bipedal animals? Oh, God. This stream's been going too long.
Be okay with a society that harms those who are not quite as smart as the rest?
Was there someone in the background? I missed it.
Cafe I used to come to.
Soviet bears?
And then they just refuse to have soy milk. How easy would it be just to have soy milk? Maybe they do now, I don't know. Maybe some people that are allergic to milk said something, and maybe that was a good enough reason for them. But it shouldn't be the only reason. Just because people are allergic to milk, you're just not a baby cow. A good reason to have soy milk is because it's the right thing to do, to not hurt animals, to not exploit them. Eat them, wear them.
Man is a featherless biped. True. Flannelist Board says, wow, didn't know I'd be witnessing bipedal erasure today.
Use them as entertainment.
Now that's a fucking pun.
None of it is right. Then there's this place. I asked here too, could you have some more vegan options? And they said, well,
do you think this lady, every time she walks into a restaurant in her local community here, the staff goes, oh God, it's that lady? Because you know for a fact she lectures the waiters and waitresses and hostesses about the vegan shit, right? Every time she goes to a restaurant, she must be like, oh, you should have more vegan options. And they'll be like, oh, okay, we'll tell, our manager or whatever, because, people make recommendations. She'll be like, oh, also, you should only have vegan options, and can I talk to your manager? I want to talk about how veganism is the only way to be. And, she must have done this in every restaurant she's ever gone to. Must be a nightmare. Mike Mack says, scientists just caught chimps and gorillas going to war in the wild for the first time. That sounds horrifying. Chimpanzees scare me. Like, not, like, viscerally in the sense that, like, footage of them scares me, or if I see them in, like, a zoo or a wildlife sanctuary, they scare me, but, like, chimps are, like, horrifying creatures. They're intelligent, relatively speaking. They're super strong. The noise they make when they, like, scream is just the worst. Butterflies do though. Shut up. Okay, I shouldn't have said that. No. I know the butterfly thing. Butterflies are creepy. I'll die on this hill. I'll die on this butterfly hill.
If we have the vegan desserts, they don't necessarily sell fast enough. And I said, well, you could...
But dolphins? Here's the difference. If a dolphin's, gonna fight me, I just won't get in the dolphin tank or the ocean. I can run away from a dolphin. I have lungs. Well, more accurately, I have the ability to maintain myself on land. Big Sweet Demon says, put infinite monkeys in a room for infinite time and eventually they'll all be sons of bitches. Red Werewolf says, what about moths? Moths are cute. No, they're not. You're wrong.
Without even mentioning the word vegan.
Moths are just dirty butterflies.
Because a lot of time people are prejudiced. They see the word vegan and they think, oh, I'm not going to get that. Because that will remind them that all the other times that they don't get the vegan option, they are being a cruel person. So they just rather just sort of block it off completely and just feel like, fuck it. I'm just going to be bad all the time. I'm going to always pay for the suffering of animals. Now I know that there are some of you watching who are vegan and some of you who get me.
I love you too, Paha.
100%. And all I'm urging for you guys to do is the same thing that I'm doing. Just walk around your neighborhood and talk. Just put the message out there. That's all we can do. That's really all we can do, is just to disrupt society. Just give them the message. Say, hey, animals' lives matter. Animals are here with us, not for us. Let's consider them every time we open our wallets. Every time we stand in front of any place that sells animals, use your voice.
It was the best of time. It was the blurst of times. You stupid monkey! Was that Mr. Burns?
To speak out on their behalf. Mention the word vegan. Ask for vegan options.
I cannot click on that Rule 34 moth. Sorry. Although it's a thick Dom mommy moth. It appears to be on my second screen here. So if you're into that... D with Goblins, thanks for 6 months, says, hey, 6 months, thanks for all you do. May your cheese be crumbly and your bits be plentiful. Thank you. Jamie Lynn Turner says the cruelty is what makes the meat taste good. Everyone knows that. Suffering is flavoring. Let me be clear. I don't have a problem with your joke in the sense that I find it offensive. I just find that kind of joke incredibly cliche. That joke, I get it. Speedy Yoshi says Hannah's worst enemy, Diddy Kong. Flannel is bored says, catch me wandering around Detroit at 4 a.m. talking to my phone because a vegan teacher told me to. I'm sure I'll be fine.
Hello, little rabbit. There's a little friend here. It's okay, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm vegan, I don't eat rabbits.
That rabbit doesn't speak English.
Some people do, but I don't. I'm just coming to say hi. Yeah. Hello, little sweetie. How can anybody even consider just grabbing an animal and murdering them? It's beyond my ability to understand. Or how can anybody just consider pinning down a cow and just going underneath her and drinking from her? These people that say, well, cows need to be milked. Cows need their babies to drink their milk. That's what they need.
Mr. X8 says, what about this moth? Hold on. Now I'm afraid of getting Rule 34 moths. Oh no, that one's just cute. Vast Lunacy said, Gods, what if a hawk just snatched the rabbit? What a great content that would be. I agree. Jamie Lynn Turner says, redemption fits for the hype train and the bad joke. Sorry, I thought it was funny. Made me laugh. Oh, I know. I don't have an issue with it. Just, Seen it. Oh, we got another hype train. 53% to level 1. Where did her thing go?
They don't need you to interfere. They don't need you or me or anybody else to rape them into existence to begin with, to force them to be pregnant.
Yikes.
The males in the industry are masturbated, forced to give their sperm. The females are artificially inseminated. That's rape. It's wrong. Just buy the vegan option. Look at the menu. See if you can find the word vegan. You see it here? Buy the vegan option. No matter where you are, ask for it and buy it. Encourage these places. Across the street here too is another place. And they too at one point said that they were selling some vegan options, but they don't always do it. And I said, why don't you just have every single thing in your restaurant be vegan?
That's probably not economical, because you need to be in a pretty specific area to make a vegan restaurant profitable, since most people aren't vegan.
Everything.
Jude McLeod, thanks for gifting a sub. Like, the vast majority of restaurants, and I'm not saying this to, like, be mean or anything, just, like, this restaurant... How do I put this? If you go to a restaurant that isn't necessarily vegan, however, it has vegan options, those vegan options are basically being subsidized by all the other food. That restaurant would not be there 90% of the time if the restaurant only served vegan food. So if you want to go to a restaurant currently, in our current, cultural zeitgeist about meat and dairy products, if you want to go to a restaurant and eat vegan food, then you need them to serve non-vegan food, otherwise that restaurant wouldn't exist. I know that's not great for you to think about necessarily, but it's the reality. This is safe for work, you promise? Oh, see, now that's horrifying. That's not cute to me. That is disgusting, and I want to burn it. That's awful. That's awful. That's all. Okay, let me be clear. The art is wonderful, but it scares me. Like, the art is really well done, and the fact that it's so well done scares the shit out of me, and I don't like it. Bardlock Moses, thanks for gifting a sub.
Thing. Only vegan milk. Only non-stolen milk. If you don't believe in stealing, then don't steal the milk from baby cows. Don't steal the eggs from chickens. Don't exploit.
You're gonna promote your friend who does adorable moth people? Right on. Oh, see, that's cute. That's cute.
Them. Don't put them in these tight, confined places, dark places, prison camps. If you want to know if something is humane, ask yourself if you want it done to you. If you wouldn't, then you have your answer.
That one's cute.
Just be vegan.
Look what you just found.
Well, thanks for coming along on my morning walk here.
I don't even know what amino
Thanks to
is.
everybody who's trying, who's just hanging in here listening, even though I know.
Flannel is bored, says my veterinary clinic. All chip in and get barbecue delivered on Fridays. Vegan teacher would burn us as witches. And Sky Comet Fallen says this moth is beautiful. No! Nope. That's terrible. Don't send me that. How do I feel about bees? You think they're cute? I don't have an issue with bees. Fuck wasps. But I don't have an issue with bees. I don't necessarily think they're cute, but they're, you know, necessary for the environment to flourish, so fuck yeah, bees.
No, many of you dislike me because I make you feel guilty. But truly my motive is just to make you think. Just to give you one of the clicks.
Amino is just a fan community? Okay. Jude McLeod says, she says that if we don't believe in stealing, we shouldn't steal from cows. Guess what? Thievery doesn't go against my code of ethics in all cases, vegan teacher.
It takes 100 clicks until you become vegan. I'm just here to give you one of them. To make you think or to make you feel. And then you can go off and find other vegans and you'll get your other clicks from them. I'm just here to disrupt enough so that you hear the word and so you think about it. And please watch the documentaries. Don'twatch.org.
We watched that the other day, or I watched it because, you know, I couldn't show it on screen because it's very bloody. Didn't make me vegan. What do you know? 58% to level 2. Big Sweet Demon says, hype. Also, apparently you can befriend wasps like crows. My mom has both hang around her house often and treats them both with seeds and bits of fruits. Oh, that's kind of cool.
Don'twatch.org. That's what it's called. It's only 6 minutes long. It's the latest one that I'm recommending. But there are so many. There are hundreds and hundreds of amazing documentaries that show the undercover footage of what goes on in the whole world.
Am I in there?
Yeah, you are.
I'm a good one, right?
Well, people in my neighborhood are starting to wake up. They're starting to wake up to veganism too. Little by little. They're talking about it, mentioning the word, thinking about it, feeling guilty. It's part of it. I felt the same thing. Feeling angry. You know the stages of grief that you go through when someone dies? Well, when you become vegan, it's like you become born again. It's not about religion, but it's about going back to your roots.
Kind of sounds like a religion. Not all veganism, mind you, just the way she describes it. Fast Lunacy says, I don't like vegan teacher, but I dig her taste in hats. Jude McLeod says, the most important question regarding bees, though, do they like jazz? Pyromancer says, sounds like being Catholic.
We're all born vegan.
No, we're not.
All born not wanting to hurt animals. So all of these neighbors here, everyone, over time, they will start to become vegan. Right now, everyone kind of looks at me like I'm a little bit of the crazy one in the neighborhood. I get it. But one day they won't. One day they'll say, you know, she was right.
Does she genuinely think, like, in her lifetime, and she's, like, in her 50s, which isn't, like, super old, you know, at this point. I'm sure she'll live, you know, another 40, maybe 50 or more years. I don't know. But the world isn't going to become completely vegan in her lifetime, nor my lifetime, even though I'm, like, half her age. I fully believe, and I really do, if human beings continue to exist on this planet, and society doesn't collapse, someday, yeah, I would imagine people will probably all be vegan in the sense that there will be no reason to take meat or products from animals because it's just easier and more ethical to produce these things artificially with like lab-grown meat. Someday, you know, similar things with like milk and cheese and all that kind of stuff. But it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen over a decade or even a century. It's going to take a really long time, probably, for that kind of thing to happen. And maybe I'm wrong. You know, sometimes there are really unexpected social shifts that nobody sees coming. And if this happened in our lifetimes, that's wonderful. I'd celebrate that. I don't want to hurt animals, you know? And I want them to be treated as ethically as possible, but I just don't think her neighbors are ever going to see her as anything other than what she is. Fast Lunacy says, this is literally every mad scientist rant. One day they'll see. Hold on, I gotta do my mad scientist. Fun fact, in first grade and kindergarten, the kids always made me do a mad scientist voice and laugh because they thought I was really good at it and they thought it was funny. So here's my mad scientist. I'll read your thing. One day they'll see. They called me mad, but I'll show them.
We should all be vegan. Thanks for watching. And coming up on the screen, are going to be a bunch of other videos. Have a look at them. Be curious. Press on them. And click the notification bell too. I'll see you all soon. And I'll be thinking about you throughout the day, cheering you on.
Please don't.
All right? If you do something good, like you don't buy eggs, you don't buy cheese, only the vegan versions, and you do buy soy milk or oat milk, just think of me cheering you on, all right? Think of me saying, you know, way to go. Way to be awesome.
Okay, vegan teacher. You do you.